Among the emerging trend in finance and commerce, the second prominent course I could say is about Certified Public Accountant USA. This course is promoted by American Institute of Certified Public Accountant. It was a body which was established very long back. In India we have Chartered Accountancy. Similar to that, in US we have Certified Public Accountant, which gives the signing authority. In India, Chartered Accountants have the signing power. Similarly, in US, CPA have the signing power. There are 55 jurisdictions across US who recognize this AICPA certification, CPA qualification. The only difference with India is that in India we have a situation, once you become a Chartered Accountant, across all states, you are a Chartered Accountant, you can do that. The signature part is taken care. In US, unlike this, there are 55 jurisdictions and each jurisdiction have separate licensure requirements. While the exams for CPA are uniform for across all states. That is why it's called Uniform Certified Public Accountant exam. You don't have exam separately for each state. So the licensure requirement is separate. However, the exam requirement remain uniform. When we say about this program, there are few partners to this program. We need to understand them. So one is, of course, is American Institute of Certified Public Accountant. They are one prominent party who consist of mostly CPA members who takes initiatives for the development and enhancement of this professional qualification. Then you have the second body called NASBA, which helps in exam registration, takes care of credential requirements, all these stuffs being taken care by NASBA. And the third body, of course, is the Prometric Center, who takes care of the exam requirements. So these are the key partners, I could say. So as I mentioned, AICPA takes care of the the enhancement, development of members, the certification part, everything will be taken care by AICPA. NASBA takes care of the credential part. So when I say credential part, which is important to understand, what is credential requirements? See, in India, if you look at, graduation consists of 15 years of education, which means 10 years of up to 10th, then you have plus 2, 12, and 3 years of undergraduation, so total is 15. Whereas in US, it is 16 years of education. So when you look at from that point of view, in US, a person is eligible to take CPA exam only after completing 16 years of education, after undergraduation. So whereas in India, it is only 15 years, so there is a gap exists, 16 years versus 15 years gap. So as a result, there will be a shortage of credits. The evaluation in US is being done with the parameter of credits, how much credits the individual get. So when somebody completes 16 years of education in US, he is eligible for so and so credits to apply for CPA exam. Whereas in India, it founds as a shortage, and unless of course there are additional caveats to it indicating that if you are done from a NAC accredited college with so and so percentage, there are different parameters to it. So then you may be eligible to the equivalent credits. I'm not going into the details of whether it is 120 credits or 150 credits, for which there are experts available, whose service we take as consultants. They will be able to guide on that. However, the important point is, when you look at as a BCom student, when you want to do CPA, you need to fill up that bridging requirement. So that part is very important for CPA exam, to match your credential requirements. Your credits has to be matched, which is one of the very important thing for CPA exam. So for this credit exam, there are opportunities like bridge course. Logic itself has initiated some bridge course with recognized universities in India. So what you could do is, once you start with CPA program, do this bridge course along with your CPA program, with which you get additional credits which will make you competent or eligible to take for CPA exam. The credit requirements will be met with it. So as a result, what will happen? So the overall credits you will be getting, which makes you eligible for CPA exam. Now you understood the credential requirements. Next important point is to understand about the content or the exam part of CPA. So the first paper is Auditing and Attestation, relating to you understand the areas of auditing, internal controls, those areas are covered in that particular topic. I am not going into the details of the topic. The second paper is Financial Accounting and Reporting, which is another very important topic which deals with hardcore financial accounting. You have some part of financial management is covered. I would say more of a practical oriented paper which deals with accounting, and some part of reporting is covered in that topic. Then you have the third part is business environment and concepts known as BEC paper. Again, this topic consists of some part of costing areas. I would say around 60-70% is problem papers, 30% you have theoretical coverages there. And the last paper is something called regulation, wherein federal taxation, US federal taxation is covered in depth in that fourth paper. So these are the 4 papers which is covered in AICPA. Now it is important to understand the exam window, when you can take the exam. See, the first window starts from January 1st to March 10th, you have the first exam window. Then there is a break for the rest of the period in March. Again it resumes in April, continues until June 10th. Then you have a break again for rest of June. Resume again in July 1st and continues up to September 10th. Again break in September. Finally October 1st it resumes and moves up to October 10th. So every quarter, the last month 20 days will be break period. Otherwise you will have the complete period, you will have the exam. So you will be able to schedule the exam in advance through Prometrics. You could plan it out and schedule during this particular window. Now the key advantage of CPA program is globally one of the best recognized course. Anywhere there are US companies, you have recognition. Particularly big 4 companies primarily look for CPAs as their auditors. In India also, leading multinational companies give a lot of weightage to certified public accountants. As I mentioned, across the globe, wherever you have US companies, CPA being recognized as the #1 course. Another key advantage of CPA is that you could complete in a very short span of time. Average time of 1.5 years is good enough to complete the program. Now, having understood all these things, we need to understand the steps, what all we need to do to become a CPA. So as I mentioned, the first step is to apply to take the examination. You need to apply that. Then complete the payment of examination fees. You have a procedure to pay the examination fees. Then you have the material, you have the classes, go through that classes. Logic is giving extensive training, attend that. Meantime, do the bridge course who are not meeting the credential requirements. Complete the bridge course so that your credential part is being taken care of. Post that, the fourth step is to receive your notice to schedule. You will have some slots to something called notice to schedule, which is nothing but to schedule your exam. You are an alert for your scheduling of exam, and then schedule your exam. Fifth step, it is to schedule your exam during the windows I was highlighting, and finally take the exam on that particular day. And finally, once you complete your exams, wait for the result and take the result. It's one of the internationally best recognized courses. I've given a brief about it. Please gather more information and go ahead for CPA. All the best.